Your summer starts now with Memorial Day deals at the Home Depot. It's time to fire up summer cookouts with the Next Grill 4-burner gas grill on special buy for only $199. And entertain all season with the Hampton Bay West Grove 7-piece outdoor dining set for only $499. This Memorial Day, get low prices guaranteed at the Home Depot. While supplies last, price and valid May 14th through May 27th. U.S. only, exclusions apply. See homedepot.com/price match for details.
So you decided to sell him your car?
I did.
Virtually ensuring that your 2004 Hyundai, virtually ensuring that you won't speak to each other ever again.
This is the plaintiff, Jerome Calchera. He says he's been friends with the defendant for 20 years, so we thought nothing of loaning him his car after the guy smashed up his own. After he borrowed it for 3 weeks, he agreed to sell it to him. Well, some friend he turned out to be, because the creep hasn't paid him. Threatened to get a restraining order against him, and he has no other choice but to sue the louse for the $1,000 he's owed. This is the defendant, Joseph Fowl. He says he paid the plaintiff $2,500 for the car. The next thing he knows, it starts falling apart. The transmission's a mess. There are electrical problems, and now he has to pay good money to fix the hunk of junk. He's accused of failing a friend.
All parties, please raise your right hand.
What you are about to witness is real. The participants are not actors. They are actual litigants with a case pending in civil court. Both parties have agreed to drop their claims and have their cases settled here before Judge Marilyn Milian in our forum, the People's Court.
Be seated, come to order, please. Litigants have been sworn, Your Honor.
Thank you, Douglas. Council Martin. Okay, Jerome, is it Calchera?
Calchera.
Calchera, you are suing Joseph
Fowl
for $1,000, the remaining balance that you say he owes you for the sale of a 2004 Hyundai you sold to him. Now, you two have known each other for a very long time, right?
Correct.
How long?
20 years.
20 years. Have you been good friends?
I would say so.
Would you go out a lot? Hang out together?
Well, I had attended a couple of funerals of his brothers with him and supported him in times at the hospital and incidents like that, and we did spend time together at times.
Okay. So you decided to sell him your car?
I did.
Virtually ensuring that your 2004 Hyundai, virtually ensuring that you won't speak to each other ever again. Didn't you think it might be risky to do business with family and or friends?
Well, it probably is, but you like to think you can trust someone.
Yeah, but, you know, business is business and friendship is friendship. So you decide you're going to sell him the car. How come?
Maybe I'm guilty of not drawing that line that hard. I had purchased a car in 2011 for myself. I had no intention of ever selling it. And that was in around October 2011. I had purchased it. I have 2 other cars. They're older, and they don't get the mileage that this one would get, so I figured I would have that for my personal use. In February, he came to me. He had smashed up his car, and he asked me as a favor if I would sell him that car. And he said, I really need a car, and could you do it? And at the time, I didn't want to. And he had offered me $25.
So your car was not for sale?
No. It was for personal use. And I told him I really didn't want to sell it. I wanted to keep it. And he said he really needed a car, and he was jammed up because he had just smashed his car up, and he would give me $2,500 for it. And I told him that won't work because I've got a lot more than that in it. And I also had it registered, and I paid the sales tax and all that, and I think I probably had about $3,200 or $3,300 in it. And he kept asking me, and I said, okay, I will sell it to you for $3,500. He only had $2,500 cash at the time. And he said, I would pay you the rest of it. He says $100 a month.
Until he's paid off. Do you have a bill of sale from the transaction?
I gave him...
I have the registration here.
How about a bill of sale? Is there any dispute that you bought the car for $3,500?
No, it tells you right here what I paid for it, basically.
What'd you pay for the car? What were you supposed to pay?
I gave him $2,500. I was supposed to pay him that $3,500. Yes,
yeah, okay, that's what I'm asking. All right, so there's no dispute about that.
There is no dispute on the money.
Okay. So then that was in February. I let him take the car. He had it for 3 weeks with my insurance and my thing. It took him 3 weeks to register it. I just gave him to sign the title over and gave it to him. The first 3 months, 3 or 4 months, I didn't bother him. I didn't hear from him. So I figured I would go down to his place of business. Okay. And I went down there August 1st and to inquire about this money. And it got a little loud. I mean, it was nothing physical, but they would raise voices. And
well, what was he saying about why?
I said basically what I heard before. Be patient. Don't worry, I'll pay you. And this is almost 8 months.
Was he complaining about the car?
Pardon me?
Well, did he complain about the car?
No, he didn't complain about the car to me.
Okay.
And he said, I'll pay you, you know, but you got to be patient. I'm going to be losing my house, my business, this and that. And I told him again, I've got bills of my own to pay. And that was a deal. And so he said, if you don't leave, I'm going to call the police. I'm going to get a restraining order on you. And at that point, I figured, hey, it's an oral, you know, it was an oral agreement. No good deed goes unpunished. I'll forget it, you know. So I went home, and when I got home, my lady friend called me. Joe had called her. Joe knows her over the years. And he had told her that he didn't want me to get in trouble because he was going to call the cop and get a restraining order. And he intended to pay that money to her in my name, but he would send it to her.
Wait. Okay. Come on up. What's her relationship to you?
Friend, attorney.
Friend, attorney. Okay, when you say lady friend, is she your girlfriend?
Well, I mean...
The questions get tougher from here.
We've known each other for 40, 45 years.
Has she been your girlfriend for 45 years?
Well, yeah.
At times? Like
yeah.
what?
Yeah, no, we were...
What? What can't I get an
Her mother
answer?
might see this.
Say that again? Her what?
No.
Her what?
Her mother may see this thing.
So what? Her mother doesn't like you?
I'm only joking. At one time, we were very, very
close. Are you an attorney?
Yes.
Coincidentally? Okay, but you're also friends with him?
Via Jerome, actually.
Okay.
I've known him for 20 years.
And so he calls you and says what?
So Joe called me because he wanted me to be the intermediary so there wouldn't be any contact and there wouldn't be any more discussions or arguments. And so Joe was offering to send the money that he owed Jerome to me, and then I would pay Jerome.
Okay, and you said what to him?
I said, fine.
And then what happened?
Nothing happened.
Because he didn't send you any money.
Correct.
So he didn't send you any money, didn't send you any money. What's going on?
It started out, like, Jerome's got some of the story pretty well straight. But the story is this, on the money on the car, his first time to come and get money, I offered to give it to him. And he said, hold on till you get a bundle together. And in the meantime, I got laid off from work. And everything got tight.
Hold on. Did that actually happen?
I never turn down money when it's offered.
Exactly. Okay. All right. Go ahead. I mean, some people do. I think it's crazy, but go ahead. So according to you, he said that, and then what?
Yeah, that's what he said. So when he came to get the bundle of money, I didn't have it.
Okay.
You know what I mean? I told him I got laid off, and we turned into a heated argument over it. And in the meantime...
Why would it be a heated argument? This would be the part where you say, I'm so sorry. Why would there be an argument?
Well, as many times as I told him, let's make payments to do this and that, I need my money, I need my money.
Well, why wouldn't you just put the money that instead, if for some reason that did happen, which I don't know that I buy it, but if he had refused your money because it wasn't green enough yet and he needed for it to ripen, then why wouldn't you put aside that money so that you had it on the day that he asked you for it? Why would you spend it? Because you had to? Because you had to pay bills? Because you were behind? Because you were in trouble?
I had gotten laid off and I started a business.
Okay.
And the situation was, I told him to take that $100 that day.
I don't understand what your defense is. Your defense is, I don't have money, and so he should know better?
Well, it wasn't that. I offered to pay him that day, but after that, things got tied up, and it turned into a heated mess between both of us.
But I don't understand why it's a heated mess as opposed to you begging forgiveness. I don't get it. If you owe him money, and you know you owe him money, why are you mad at him for trying to get the money you know you're wrong and not having paid? I'm not getting why it's heated.
Okay, let me share this with you. He came to a place of business, and he started a big argument. And he threw things out he shouldn't have thrown out in front of customers.
Okay. This kind of stuff I understand. So
you know what? So that's when it aggravated me, and I told him he couldn't come back there.
What did he say to you?
He goes, go back and shoot your dope. That's what he said.
Go back and what?
And shoot your dope. We've been in recovery. You know, I'm a recovering addict.
Okay.
You know, and instead, he really believed I was doing something else with my money than not giving it to him. But the situation was I was trying to keep up a business and keep a mortgage up.
What was the business?
Alternators and starters.
Okay, so he came to the place where you were doing that?
Yes, he did. And I rented the shop in the back.
Were there other people there when he said that?
Yeah. The guy that owns the business, he was in the other building that he works out of, and he heard all that.
Okay.
You know, and it turned into a heated argument in there. And I just couldn't deal with it anymore. And then things, you know what, it's not that I'm saying any of this.
Did you
know
ever
what?
call the girlfriend and or
Yes, I did.
attorney,
I did call
the
her.
friend, lady friend of 40 years, whatever we call her?
Yep.
And tell her I'll pay you?
She's a great lady.
Fabulous. Did you send her any money?
No, I did not.
Why not?
Because I didn't have it at the time, and things got tied up.
Welcome back to the People's Court. Harvey Levin here. So, would you sell a friend of 20 years your used car?
No, you just never know what could go wrong, and it's not worth the friendship.
But if you go into it eyes wide open, is it okay then?
I don't think so. I'd rather them be safe.
Even if they really want the car?
Yes, I wouldn't do it.
What about you?
If it was in good condition, I would do it.
But then you're kind of you're representing to the person that it's in good condition.
If it's in good condition, I would sell it. If not, then I wouldn't do it. It's not worth the risk of losing a friend.
Okay. You are in risk of losing a friend. Going inside the courtroom.
Is that your defense? I don't have it?
I didn't have it. I didn't have it at that point.
Is that your defense?
Basically, right now, you know what? That's where the situation sits, you know? And that's why I asked him to be patient.
I know, but
Until I
people don't
could've
have to be
settled that.
patient.
Yeah.
In other words, if you make a commitment to pay $100 a month, then you have to pay the $100 a month. And if you don't, I have to do what I have to do. You know, there's a lot of people going through bad times. Most of them don't get angry at the person who's saying, well, you know, I got bills to pay too. I don't get it. You know, these two gentlemen are moral support or witnesses of some kind. I don't know.
Well, the other guy's moral support, and he's kind of a witness, but he wasn't there. We talked in private that day over that money, so I can't bring him in on that. But he was there with the argument thing when he said about the dope thing in there.
Did you really say that?
Yeah, he did.
I may have. I really don't remember what I said. I was pretty heated.
That should go on, number one in the dictionary under ways not to get paid by somebody who owes you money.
Probably right.
Right?
Yeah,
Did your lawyer tell you that?
Pardon me?
Did your lawyer tell you that? That maybe
She'll tell me after we leave.
She'll tell Okie dokie. Mr. Fowl, you owe the money. I'm entering a judgment against you in the amount of $1,000. That's my verdict. Good luck, folks.
Thank
you.
Better times ahead, hopefully, for both of you.
Both sides, hold on right there.
Let's first talk to the defendant coming out after the plaintiff has won in a judgment every cent he sued you for.
Yeah. You know what? What else can I say about it? You know what I mean? It was just, a heated argument at the time. And,
Yeah. Well, he was there when you needed him, right?
Yep.
He's there for you.
Yep. You're right.
Is that the end of the friendship, you think?
No. We'll be friends again.
Yeah, I think so. All right.
We've been friends for 20 years, trust me. You know what?
Okay.
Bad times for everybody.
Okay.
All right, guys. Thank you.
Okay, come on in here. So the plaintiff wins his case. Step right next to me right here. If you would, well, first of all, what's your reaction to what went down in the courtroom?
I'm very pleased that I've got my money. I'm kind of sorry I lost a friend over it.
Well, he says he hopes he hasn't lost you as a friend.
Well, when someone is going to get a restraining order on me because I'm asking for money that's owed me, I kind of look at the.
You're not willing to forgive and forget this whole thing?
I'll forgive and forget, but I'm not going to consider her a friend. I'm certainly not going to sell him another car on credit.
Right. Well, do you regret some of the things you might have said about him?
Well, I'll tell you. He also made a response that I should talk to my sponsor. I've been in recovery for 25 years myself. So I'm not sure what just led into that conversation.
All right. Let's go to Harvey.
You know, it's real simple. The end game is getting paid, and that means do not incite the debtor. If you start inciting them, especially by making false claims, you are not going to achieve your goal, which is to get your cold, hard cash. And that will do it for this case. Litigants for the next case on the way into the courtroom right now.
Bonjour, compadre. It's the
Priceline Negotiator.
How do I negotiate so many great travel deals? My greatest gadget, the Priceline app. It's got hotel deals, flight deals, rental car deals, all of those deals in a bundle. Deals, game day deals, concert trip deals. No one deals more deals than Priceline. Hold your horses, there's more. The app lets you filter hotels by neighborhood, vibe, star level, and amenities like pools and spas and beachfronts and... Wait, I'm not done. Stop cutting me off.
Priceline.
This is the plaintiff, Alyssa Gansey. She says she hired the defendant to clean a rental apartment she had, and the guy used too much water on the carpeting and the wood floor underneath buckled. She had to go to great expense cutting the flooring out and replacing it with new wood. She also had to buy new carpeting, and the defendant refuses to pay her back. She has no other choice but to sue the no-good cleaner for the $1,363.51. She's now out. This is the defendant, Marcus Moses. He says he's been in the cleaning business 13 years, and he takes great offense at the plaintiff's false allegations he ruined her floor. The woman had a leaking refrigerator in the place, and that's why her floor buckled. He can't believe this woman's trying to pin the blame on him when the damage was caused by her own faulty appliance. Shame on her. He's accused of being H2O happy.
All parties, please raise your right hand.
Thank you, Douglas.
You're welcome,
Alyssa Gansey?
Yes.
You're suing Marcus Moses, Top of the Line Cleaning Incorporated, correct?
Yes.
For $1,363.51 in damages that you say you sustained when you hired him to clean an apartment. I guess you're the landlord of the apartment? To clean it for the next tenant, and things went wrong.
Yes, they did.
According to you. Tell me what happened.
I did get a new fridge that day, but the fridge had nothing to do with this. Mr. Moses actually helped the appliance guys throw the fridge over the porch, so if it was leaking, Mr. Moses would have gotten soaking wet himself. So that is just ridiculous.
And what did you hire him to do?
I hired him to clean out the whole apartment and to clean the rugs. I usually do it myself, but I was going out of town for work, so I hired.
Okay. And how much were you paying him?
$294.75.
All right, so what happens?
When I next saw the apartment, I noticed the rug had a bump in it, and I thought maybe somehow it came loose.
When was when you next noticed the apartment?
On the 15th. He was there on the 9th.
Okay, and had there been a tenant in there in between?
No. The tenant did not come in until the 15th. I gave her the keys.
Okay, so you come in on the 15th with the tenant, and you notice?
A bump in the rug, and I thought maybe somehow it came loose when he was cleaning it, so I tried to step on it to push it down. And that's when I noticed the hardwood floors underneath
had buckled. Okay. So what'd you do?
I called Mr. Moses, and I called a repairman, and we both met the repairman there the next morning. Mr. Moses was there when they pulled back the rug and saw that the floor was buckled. There's no way, even if a fridge had leaked, the path that it went through is not even the same spot where this buckled floor was. And his machine would have picked up the water if it had been. He would have been soaking wet if it was from the fridge, so that's just ridiculous.
Why do you keep saying he would be soaking wet if it was from a fridge? Why do you keep saying that?
Because I had to pay him extra, actually, to help the appliance guys take the fridge and throw it over the porch, because it wouldn't fit through the doorway.
And he's blaming the water damage on the fridge?
On the fridge, yes.
So you lift up the carpet, and do you have pictures?
I do, yes. And whatever machine he used was like a floor buffer, not a carpet cleaner, I don't think, because it also left these huge circular marks torn, burned into my carpet.
How old is the rug?
They were there when I bought the house. I've owned it for...
You don't know the answer, but you've owned it for how long?
I've owned the apartment for 5 years.
How did you remedy this situation?
The two guys that are in the one picture cut out the warped boards and put in new boards. And then I had to have the rugs re-cleaned because the rugs were still filthy.
So the circles are still in the rug?
Yes. The pictures of the circles were taken after I had the rug re-cleaned. So that's after another carpet cleaner went through. They're permanent dug-in circles. Burned. The second carpet
Who did you hire
cleaner,
as a second carpet cleaner?
AmeriClean.
And you have an affidavit from them?
Yes, I do.
She says you ruined her carpet.
I don't
Talk
agree.
to me.
I don't agree.
Okay.
She did in fact hire us to come and clean her apartment. There was some damages that I noticed even before we.
How did you clean her carpet?
I cleaned it with a cyclone machine, which I paid $5,000 for the machine. I have the owner's manual, what the machine is supposed to be used for, with me today.
Can I see it?
This is all the documentation of the floor machine.
All right, so go on.
So my machine, it only uses a 12 gallon, not a 12, like a 12 fluid ounce. I don't know the exact measure
That's
of
not 12 fluid
a
ounces,
standard
okay.
pail bucket.
Okay.
I use that and I pour it into the tank of the machine.
This is the Cyclone?
Mm-hmm.
All right, it's called a Cyclone. This is the
Yes.
$5,000 machine. It uses
Correct.
water that goes in which canister? This
It
one or
goes
that one?
into, there's the canister at the top.
That one. So it's whatever's, oh, this is a big canister on the top. So that gets
Yeah.
filled with water.
Yes, and there's a solution, it's a dry foam solution that's
Does
made
that
by
go
Spectrum.
directly on the carpet or inside the?
It goes into the tank.
Into the tank. So this does have those circles, those 18 or 20-inch circles. You know that somebody else came, cleaned the carpet, and the circle marks are still there.
I don't agree because I use the carpet to clean my own personal carpet. And
Okay,
there's
but hold on. When you say you don't agree, I have evidence that another company came called AmeriClean, saying
this
nasty things about you, about the job. Okay, yeah, maybe they're trying to get hired from now on instead of you. I got
I guess
it.
so.
But they say there are multiple. They corroborate what she's saying. Multiple circular burns in the carpet caused by a rotating scrubber, and we don't use mechanical scrubbing because that's it's not done now.
The machine, the circular marks come out after you vacuum the carpet with a vacuum cleaner. They're not permanent. So I don't know how she transpired getting those marks to be still there, but they come out after the carpet is vacuumed, after the carpet has dried.
I would have to find that not only is she lying, but AmeriClean is lying, right?
Well, I mean, she hired them. They're on her side. But I've cleaned several other carpets as well as my own, and the spots, the circular motions from it's like a scrubber. They come right out after you vacuum the carpet with a regular vacuum cleaner.
I mean, the item is intended for doing all kinds of things, and one of the things is carpet shampooing.
Well, I think what he's talking about is the marks, like when a vacuum cleaner leaves a
No,
path.
because that's what it looks like to me.
Yeah.
Next to it, there's a footstep of AmeriClean or you or somebody. So, I mean, that's why it looks that way. That's why I'm having some difficulty with that it didn't come out.
Right.
Right.
They didn't come out even after I had the rugs
But clearly, AmeriClean is saying we cleaned the rug. Well, AmeriClean's letter doesn't say we cleaned the rugs and it's still there. But AmeriClean's letter certainly says that these are burned on, and I see a receipt for cleaning the rugs. So it's an obvious conclusion.
And you can
multiple
see
circular burns caused by a rotating scrubber because of carelessness, aggressive cleaning methods, or an inexperienced operator.
No, that's not possible.
The pictures show these circular motions consistent with a carpet cleaner. Is that enough for the plaintiff to win?
I think so, yeah.
Why do you say?
Because that's the machinery that they use and makes that pattern on the floor.
That's a true statement. What do you think?
Yeah, I would agree with that. That is enough evidence to show that it was their machine that did it, that created this.
Even if the guy's denying it, that's yeah.
I believe that, like, what happened to me on the same situation is that the fungus gets in the carpet and it gets molded, and as soon as they clean it,
Dude, this is too close to lunch. Going inside the courtroom.
You're suing for brand new carpet when you have, at a minimum, a 5-year-old, if not a 15, 20, 30-year-old carpet. So you have to understand that
yes,
too.
Yes, that I do. That's why I wasn't. Yes.
Okay. Now let me just ask you a question. When I've got the multiple circular things, and I have a system of cleaning that involves water and solution, and I have the buckling of wood floors, and I have a refrigerator that is tossed out not through this carpeting.
It went through the carpeting, across the carpeting, because the
Did you notice water falling everywhere and disgusting? Because this is a lot of water that caused this.
I have no idea, because
Right,
I was trying to be a helpful person, because that's the type of person I am. I go be above and beyond, hence the name top
I know,
of the
but
line
did you
cleaning.
notice? I mean, if I'm picking up a refrigerator and the thing is pouring water out, I would notice it. And besides, you're cleaning and extracting the water out of that. So you're the last guy to extract. So if you don't extract enough in your process when you're cleaning, that's what would cause this kind of thing.
Well, the floor was abstracted, as well as I used the blower machine to blow the carpet dry.
Okay. I think that you've proven that something in this cleaning process went terribly wrong. I don't believe that you've proven that it was a leaky refrigerator that caused this to happen. I believe that you are entitled to the $163.13 to fix the hardwood floor, the $90 to have it recleaned, and a depreciated value of the carpet, which seems very, very dated.
Right,
and old,
yeah, that's...
Given, well, for one thing, the color, but it just seems dated. I don't want to offend anybody who may have that color. But so I'm going to do a little rough justice here and order that the defendant pay you in damages $450, verdict for the plaintiff. Good luck, folks.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Well, despite his best efforts to defend himself, it's proven in court here that you didn't do a very good job on that carpet. What's your reaction to this outcome?
I feel that her claim is invalid. I thoroughly cleaned the carpet as well as dried it. I don't know what transpired within between the days that she got in contact with me. However,
is there a chance you didn't operate the machine properly?
No chance, because I've been still using the same machine.
Well, it can happen
without replacing any parts, and
anyone can make a mistake.
I have clients who are happy with their service, so there's.
All right, right down there, right down there. All right, so come on in here. You didn't get everything you sued for, but you got a portion of it.
Yep, as long as I got the money back that I paid him to do a terrible job cleaning my rugs.
Mm-hmm. He's out here claiming that something else happened. Is there any chance it was anything other than?
No one was in that apartment from the night he left until the morning when I went in there.
So you think those circles were caused by him burning the fiber?
He was too aggressive with that machine or something, and they burned. And mistakes do happen, and I understand that, but as a businessman, he should have...
You stuck with those circles on that?
Those circles are stuck there on my nice blue carpet.
Harvey?
You know, everybody moans when they sue and they win, and then all of a sudden they don't get the value to replace the item. The fact is, in every court, you do not get the replacement value of an item. You get the value at the time it was damaged. And it may be that it's not worth a lot and you have to go out and buy a whole new one. Just the way the law works. That will do it for this case. Litigants for the next case on the way into the courtroom right now.
This is the plaintiff, Katrina Spivey. She says the defendant, her former landlord, is being a real pain in the you-know-what about returning her security deposit. And she's not about to let her get away with stealing her hard-earned cash. That's right. She doesn't care who the defendant thinks she is. She's not above the law, and she'll prove it here and now in this court. She's suing for $1,317.70, the amount she's rightfully owed. This is the defendant, Deirdre Simon. She says the plaintiff turned out to be a terrible tenant. She didn't vacate on time, causing her new tenant a hardship. She destroyed her once beautiful apartment, and she has some nerve suing her here today. Because if anyone's owed money, it is she. She's accused of ruining a renter's day. The defendant has filed a countersuit for $1,167.40 for all she's out.
All parties, please raise your right hand.
Thank you, Douglas.
Welcome,
Katrina Spivey?
Yes.
You are suing Deirdre Simon, your former landlord, for $1,317.70 that you say she owes you as a result of not returning a $370 security deposit. You have a counterclaim against her for $1,167.40 for damages that you say you incurred as a result of her breaching the lease. Okay, tell me what's going on.
Okay, Your Honor. In March of 2010, I decided to lease an apartment from the defendant. The deposit for the apartment was $2,070. I have proof here with the check that I gave her.
I don't think there's any dispute about that, right? Yeah.
Right, okay. So I lost my job in August of this year. So I decided on August the 18th to tell Deirdre that I was giving her a 30-day notice that I was going to end the lease on September the 18th. So she started having new tenants come over.
How did you notify her?
By email. Text mail.
Okay, and do you have her response to you?
Yes.
Okay.
She could just slide that way. that way. For the most part, Ms. Summer was an excellent landlord whenever something needed to be done. And it wasn't until I gave her my notice that, things turned a little south. As I said, I lost a job, so it was a stressful time because it's not like I was moving across the street. I was moving out of the state. And I had a problem trying to secure a moving company. And when I finally got one secured, the earliest that they could get my belongings was 9/20. Deirdre and I decided that 9/20 was okay, and I got a call maybe 2 hours later saying, okay, so there's no way you could get out before the 15th because I have a tenant that has signed a lease and I really need to go ahead and move in. This is just a very stressful time for me. I said, me too, Deirdre. And she agreed, okay, no problem. We'll make it the 20th.
Okay, but I'm looking at the email, and it's, who's Martine?
Martine is Mrs. Salmon's daughter, and she was acting as the real estate agent, telling me that a tenant had signed a new lease.
Okay, just wanted to inform you that on Friday after our agreement, we signed a lease for the 15th. Unfortunately, you will have to prepare to leave on the day we discussed. The damage for the rug will be deducted from your security. I am sorry if you feel I am being short. You seem like a great person, but my mom is uncomfortable and I have to ensure she's protected. The new tenant signed the lease. And then you say, I will not be able to leave before 9/20. I spoke with my attorney. He told me I have legal possession of this residence until my personal belongings are removed. Well, your attorney's an idiot if he actually said that. I doubt your attorney said, oh, you just leave your stuff there and you got legal possession. You never have to leave. All right, now you received most of your deposit back, right? You did a walkthrough at the end.
That's correct.
You received almost all of it. They withheld $370.
Correct.
Which was kind of an odd number. Did you ask them why they were withholding that?
Yes, she said it was for incidental.
Who's she, the daughter or her? Okay, so the two of you do the walkthrough together. Right. And she says for incidentals that I may learn about at some other moment than the moment I'm doing a walkthrough.
Correct. But
okay.
As we were walking through, it was nothing to be said except for the...
Did she say anything about the carpets?
Yes, she did say something about the carpet.
What'd she say?
Your Honor, she said there was some spots over the carpet where I had a king-size bed in this small bedroom. The previous tenants, when I moved in there, I said, Deirdre, you see the spots on this floor. I said, but there's no problem. I'll just put my bed over that.
Okay. Do you have any written recording of any of that? Like that you put it in the lease? Like
no, because she was very sensitive at that time. You know, she was very cooperative.
Were there spots there before she moved in?
No.
You had to think about it.
No, because I'm a little nervous. But no, there were no spots there. Miss Spivey is a very meticulous type of person. She would have never allowed me to do that.
To have a spot?
To have, it was a lot of spots when I went back for the walkthrough.
Okay, well, how meticulous can she be if there's a bunch of spots?
Excuse me?
How meticulous can she be if there's a bunch of spots on the carpeting?
I don't know. She wasn't smoking at the time, but there was also the smell of smoke.
Did you have a roommate?
No.
Do you have somebody smoking in there?
There was nothing in the lease saying that I couldn't smoke.
No, I'm just asking you.
Oh, yes, I mean, I'm a smoker, yes.
Oh, okay. So when you say spots, what do you mean, burn marks? Do you have pictures?
No, I did not.
You don't have pictures?
No.
How does that, do you have a phone?
Yes, I do.
Does your phone take pictures?
Yes.
There's just, back in the old days, where people had to own a camera to take a picture. You guys remember that time? Okay. All right. I could understand what people say. I didn't have a camera on me. I didn't have wheels to go to the grocery store to buy a disposable. I could hear all that stuff. I have a hard time hearing that stuff now, where people take a picture of every little thing that happens and send it, through their social media. Now, you ladies look like you're my age, so maybe you don't do that. But for the love of God, both of your cameras take pictures, and you don't take pictures of the place, how you left it and how you found it? Neither of you did that?
I did take pictures of the carpet. Unfortunately, the bathroom floor picture, because that's what she said something about before, it came out. But the picture of the carpet where my bed was over did not come out.
So try as they do smokers generally damage apartments?
Yes, you can't get that smell out. It just doesn't come out.
Okay, fair enough on the smell, but what about just burns or whatnot? What do you think?
I don't think that it would completely ruin the apartment, but...
Not completely, but do they generally cause damage?
Yes, they do.
What do you think, sir?
I agree. The smell is awful, and sometimes there's burns.
Okay, we will find out going inside the courtroom.
So now, you are keeping $370. Why?
Because when I walked through the apartment, I noticed that there were some things that the rug was filthy. There was a smell of smoke. I knew that my new tenant's daughter was 7 years old and was allergic to smoke, so I was going to have the carpets cleaned again, but I didn't want to get into a disagreement with Katrina over it. I'm not a confrontational type person. I'm a civilized individual, and I said to her, quote unquote, I will give you all of your deposit back today. I'm not going to wait the 30 days because I know that you need it. And I am going to hold 370 and review and see what I might possibly need to do.
How'd you come up? I'm just curious. How'd you come up with the figure 370?
I have to be honest with you. I just
made it up.
I made it up.
Okay, go ahead.
And then after I took a really good look at the carpet, and the living room carpet was not clean either. And I was really thinking of my next tenant, so I called Stanley Steamer, and they charged me, I think it was $250-something to have it cleaned.
May I see that? May I see proof of that?
Yes.
Go on.
So I had to have the carpets cleaned again, and that was the cost. So that was already a portion of the $370. And in addition to that, the second thing was I had to have my new tenant move into a hotel because on the phone, it was a verbal agreement with my daughter was on the phone. We were in the car and we called her and said, you know, we found a tenant, but he does need to move in on the 15th. Could you agree to that? And she agreed verbally on the phone. And so I know,
Folks.
Sloppy. Yeah. So well, you know what? We had
Watch this. Did you agree verbally on the phone?
No, ma'am.
See what
Of course
happens
not,
when
yeah.
people agree verbally
Of
on the
course
phone?
not.
We
Of
have a
course
name
not.
for you people. We call them litigants. Okay, go ahead.
So I ended up having to put the new tenant in a hotel.
For how many days?
It started he actually got it there on the 14th, I believe.
And how much did it cost you to put the tenant in the hotel?
$479.40.
And how much is the rent per month?
$13.85.
So then it's worth doing, I guess, to not lose that tenant.
Yeah.
Plus you like them.
I really did.
Yeah. Are they in there now?
He was a good guy, yeah.
Yeah. So you're suing for?
I'm suing for the carpet, for the hotel stay, and for
But the hotel stay. See, here's the thing. You had a right to tell her, no, you have to leave on the 30th. If a tenant tells you on the 12th or the 17th, hey, I'm giving you your 30 days. No, 30 days starts from the 1st to the 30th. That way you can rent it out on a beginning of a month, which is when someone in your position can find tenants, beginning of the month.
Okay.
So they can't just pick what random day in the middle of the month, because otherwise landlords would end up losing a week and a half, or, you know, you can't rent it on a Thursday in the middle of the month. That's not how it works. So you would have had that right. Now, the reason that you're keeping the security deposit, let's go over it, is because according to you, there's a broken toilet.
This tenant ended up fixing the toilet, so I didn't even add that.
Oh, so what are you keeping the security deposit for?
The $370?
Yeah.
For the carpet cleaning.
Carpet. Well, the carpet was $253. So were you able to get the spots out?
Yes.
Okay. And were the spots under where her bed was?
They were all over the apartment.
Okay.
And she had a dog also.
Did you have a dog also?
It was approved.
Right, but did you have a dog also?
It was not in the contract. It's in the contract.
Did you verbally approve it?
Probably.
All right. And you're suing for your plane ticket to come to court?
Yes, I had to miss 2 days of work. It cost me $267 to fly up here when, I could have just received the $370 and been done with it. And I also had the carpet cleaned per her request.
Can I see the proof that you had the carpet cleaned? Did you have it professionally cleaned?
Yes, Stanley Steamer.
Stanley Steamer came twice? Oh, that is just too rich.
September the 15th. I said, Deirdre, I don't want to get the carpet cleaned until I get my furniture out. She says, no, Katrina, I need the place move-in ready. And
Wait. So September 15th, you had the carpet cleaned, and they charged, you had 2 rooms cleaned.
Correct, because one room had complete boxes in it, because I said, Deirdre, I can't clean it.
But why would she want you to clean the carpet when you can't?
Because
Did you tell her to clean the carpet
ready.
when she couldn't?
I asked her if she could have the carpet cleaned. I would really appreciate it. But when I got there, the carpet was not clean. I don't care if they came or not. It was filthy.
Right.
Because movers had to get the boxes
I personally
out.
didn't know.
Why couldn't you just coordinate to have it cleaned, like leave in the morning on the day you need to leave, and then coordinate to have it cleaned? It takes a couple of hours to clean.
I didn't know. She actually said to me, Your Honor, that she was going to do it herself. I had no idea she had Stanley Steamer there the day before.
I said, Deirdre,
I think that Stanley Steamer's laughing all the way to the bank. It's actually pretty funny.
I think so,
Wait, was
too.
it the same guy? Hold on. No, they're 2 different people.
Your Honor.
That's really something.
Your Honor, she was so ready to get this new tenant
6 days later.
Right. She was so interested.
Look, we're done. Here's how it works, okay? You have to provide the place the way it was given to you. And if I don't see why you would clean the carpet while there's boxes everywhere. There's 3 rooms to the place, not 2. And the answer is then you move all your, get coordinated and move all your stuff. And, you know, in the first 6 hours of the day, get Stanley Steamer there for a couple of hours and before the next person comes in. But there's no such thing as cleaning a carpet where there's things boxes all over the carpet. That's not cleaning a carpet. I don't know what, it's kind of goofy. And, you know, I would much prefer to have pictures at a moment like this, but you admit that you're a smoker and that you had pets there. Stanley Steamer does come back and charge you $253.59. Nobody's getting time from work. Nobody's getting, what else are you guys doing for? Plane tickets. That's not how it works. Here's what we got. We have you keeping $370 and me finding that you're entitled to keep $253.59. So I am going to order you to return to the plaintiff the $116.41 that she's entitled to, and on your counterclaim, 0, because you're already keeping the part that I think you're entitled to. Good luck, folks.
All right, so this landlord-tenant dispute ends this way. What's the plaintiff's feeling on the outcome of this case here?
Not very good, but okay.
Why not? What part still sticks?
What still sticks is that I had to get the carpet cleaned before all the stuff was out, and I still got dinged for it, and I didn't get what I gave her, which was what I was due, $370. She's
trying to make you out to be a kind of a messy tenant there at the last moment here when you say that wasn't the case, huh?
No, I mean, you know what? Romans 12:19. Thank you.
Okay. All right, so come on in here. You satisfied with how this works out?
No comment.
No comment. Well, after all that, no comment? Why not?
No comment.
All right, this is the way.
Thank you.
Have any comment, Harvey?
You know, the law varies from state to state, but in most states, a landlord has a legal duty to return the security deposit within a certain period of time, often 14 days. And if they can't give all of the money back or they don't give all the money back, they have to write a note explaining what's being withheld and why it's being withheld. And if they don't do that, they can be subject to penalties, maybe twice the amount of the deposit.